This tent is like the gift that keeps on giving. This is an enormous tent, and it is amazingly comfortable in here. Then this is your answer right here. So that explains why we have so many stakes. Panda Large is a 4-person tent that rolls in at 112 pounds off the truck. That includes the box, the tent, transparent windows and front wall, Rainfly, hand pump, ropes, pegs, and storage bags. The pump actually comes rolled up inside the tent, inside the bag. And all the accessories fit in the small carry bag to make it easy to transport. And these straps are wide, so they're not going to be cutting into your hands, and I love that. There's also a flap to tuck in around your tent and a drawstring around the perimeter of the top to pull it even tighter. The tighter you can make this bundle when you pack it back up, the easier it's going to be to transport it. Taking the tent out of the bag, you'll notice that the bag itself is much larger than the tent. This is the part where everybody tells me you'll never get it back in the bag. But as you can see, this bag has tons of space. A drawstring bag containing a hammer and multi-tool. This is awesome, and I don't know what all this stuff is for yet, but aside from offering several things that you might need on your camping trip, before we even go any farther, I can tell you I am loving this color, and you can already feel the quality materials used in this tent. When you're ready to set up your tent, make sure your area is clear of any debris, sticks, stones. Take it out of the bag, and it has 2 tension straps around it. Remove those and begin to unroll. This tent is like the gift that keeps on giving. Not only is the hand pump wrapped up in the tent, but I found 2 other bags in here as well. While you're unrolling your tent, pay attention to which end is which. You want to make sure you get it positioned correctly with the front in the front, the back in the back. It took me a little time, but I eventually figured it out, and next time I will know. The back is the end with the small zipper, and the front is the end with a zipper all the way across. Now, before we go any farther, let's take a look at what's in these other bags. We've already seen this one. This one is obviously the pump, and like everything else, this has its own drawstring bag as well. The smallest bag has an extra nozzle and a PVC air tent repair kit, and the larger bag has 34 stakes in it. So this bag has 12 more stakes and 6 guy lines. We are set with stakes, guys. So let's go ahead and get our little hammer out, and we'll grab 4 stakes, and we'll put one in at each corner of the tent to hold it in place while we inflate it. Now, just like with the Koala 7, you'll see that there is a nozzle at this corner and at the back corner as well. One of these needs to be completely closed before you inflate the tent. Screw that right in there, and these nozzles do have a bleeder valve in there, so this part also needs to be put on tight. Turn it on, connect it to the nozzle on the tent, and hit start. I am so excited seeing this thing completely inflated. First of all, I absolutely love the color. You can already see right here that there are 2 small windows on the side and 2 enormous windows on the top. This tent is 10 by 13 by 7 feet tall. You can see that there are 2 small windows over here. There's a stove jack on this part of the roof. As we come around the back, you can see there are 2 more windows here, and there is another door. So this is kind of questionable what is actually the front and the back of this tent. But honestly, it doesn't even matter because both ends open up. You can go in one end or the other. 8 straps all the way around. We've also got more D-rings around the perimeter on the bottom for stakes. And then we've got 3 guy lines on each side, and one in the front and one in the back. So that explains why we have so many stakes. I also want to point out that there is a small vent on both the front and the back. So the first thing I want to do is open up the front here and show you how it looks with the screen in place. There you go, that's how it looks with the front open and the screen in place, and use the toggle to hold it in place. And I love how when you pull this down, it kind of finishes it off and makes it look nice. We can also completely open up that screen so the front is just wide open. And there you go, now the front is just completely wide open, and it has its own toggle right down here to hold it open. There are screens in place in here that you have to unzip in order to access these to roll them up. And that lets in a heck of a lot of air. Yep, you got one serious breeze with all that open. All the way around. And if you don't want to just let them hang there, you can roll these up and close them with the toggle. And that's how that looks completely open. So here is how it looks completely open from the front, and here is how it looks completely open from the back. I keep calling it the back, but I'm pretty sure this is the front right here. Here, there is a little zipper here. You can see there's a zipper on the inside as well. We have a small mesh pocket over here. We have another small mesh pocket up here in the front. And then we have the stove jack right over here. And like I keep saying, guys, this is quality material. This is a thick canvas that makes up the tent itself. You've got a PVC waterproof floor in here. First, we're going to put the side windows in. There's a strip of Velcro along the top and a zipper that goes all around the rest of the perimeter. These windows are very lightweight, so they were very easy to hold in place while you're zipping and Velcroing across the top. With these windows in place, you still can close the mesh screen. So the last thing to do is put the plastic on the front here. And again, that goes inside. There's a zipper that goes around the entire perimeter to hold it into place. So there we have our plastic on the front. Now, even though this Rainfly is absolutely enormous, I learned from the Koala 7 that one person can get this on. You just have to figure out which is which side. You can see that this completely covers the tent from one side touching the ground up over to the other side. Just like everything else, that rolls up and closes with a toggle. Stovepipe comes out this little hole here. And even if it's raining and you have your Rainfly on, the Rainfly itself has a stove jack. And there are toggle ties all along the tent. Guys, this is an absolutely amazing tent. I don't have one complaint about this tent. Zero complaints. It is time to put this thing away and get it packed up in that bag. I wanted to set this up in the backyard, do a little camping trip of my own, because it allowed me to stay in the tent, and it is amazingly comfortable in here. Having a campfire outside, just kind of getting a little bit of experience what it's going to be like camping in this tent. And I've been saying that I didn't think you needed to use the Rainfly, even though the directions really tell you to use it. So you can see I have the plastic up on the windows and the back here, and you can hear that it's raining now. I've had this tent up for a week, and it is still holding strong. I've not needed to add any more air to it at all. This is so awesome right now. It is a little chilly because I don't actually have any real heat, but it is awesome to just kick back here in this chair and be watching the fire. How big is the Panda Large inflatable tent? And let me just tell you, this is one of the most perfect tents I have ever owned in my entire life. Corner to corner on the bottom measures 10 feet across. From the top of each of the air tubes across the middle measures 9 feet 10 inches. From the top of the tube on the side to the peak of the tent measures 6 feet 2 inches. From the ground to the top of the air tube measures 3 feet 8 inches. And from the ground in the middle to the peak is 7 feet 2 inches. You can see that there's an inflatable structure around the entire perimeter, 10 feet wide by 13 feet long. So if you're asking if you can stand up inside this tent, you definitely can. 7 feet tall minus those 4 inches for the tube, so you've got a little over 6.5 feet. And like I said, this is a one-room tent. You can see there is no room divider in there, so it is one enormous area. If you left your chairs outside, you could fit 2 queen mattresses in here, if not 2 kings. This is an enormous tent. You can fit a lot of stuff in there. All right, it is frosty cold out here right now. Look at this. It is 15 degrees. You can see that we've got frost on the top of the tent. I also have the Rainfly on this tent just to help keep the heat in. We're gonna go in there and stoke up this stove and see how long it takes to warm it up and just how warm it gets in these super frigid temperatures. Now, the way this stove sits, it is a little bit close to the wall over here. We do have a heat shield on the wall, but I'm going to go ahead and add this heat deflector on that side of the stove just to protect that side that much more. That way all the heat will be coming out the front. So we're just going to use this hot snot to get this started. You squeeze it right onto the wood just like toothpaste, and then you just light the toothpaste, and that goes right in the stove. So there we go. We got the fire started. I'm going to go ahead and leave that open for a minute, just until that wood really catches. All right, we're cooking over here. You can see we're up to 22 already after just a few minutes. So it's about 5 minutes later. I put one more small piece in there just to keep it going. And we're already up to 30 in here. It takes a little time to get the fire going sometimes. And until it's really going, I like to leave the door open unless there's a lot of smoke coming out. But like I said, as soon as you close that door, you're cutting off the oxygen supply. So now that I can see our wood is burning pretty good, I'm going to leave the damper open all the way though. Yeah, like I said, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get it going, but once you do, it starts heating up in here really quick. We are at 42 right now. 43. Yeah, it is starting to really get warm in here now. We got 53 on our little thermostat here. And you can see it's burning, but I do not have a whole lot of wood in there, just a few pieces of basically kindling. So yeah, we are at 59 now. You can definitely see it works. Remember, it's what 15 degrees outside right now, and 59 in here, just about to change to 60. So if there's any question in your mind whether the Caminus M stove works inside the Panda Large inflatable tent, then this is your answer right here. You'd be nice and toasty camping in this in very cold weather. So there you have it, guys. The Panda Large with the Caminus M stove. 14 degrees out here. What did we get up to? About 60 something in there. Nice and toasty. Definitely a good mix of a tent and a stove.